Dwerve is an incredibly charismatic 2D tower defense game. And what makes Dwerve unique is the fact that the tower defense is open world. You can place your towers wherever you want to. Let's take a look at the design of Dwerve, see its strengths and weaknesses, and explore it further. Welcome back to another episode of Game Designer Plays. I'm Eric, I'm a game designer. Today we're going to be looking at Dwerve. What's so unique about Dwerve is the agency of the tower placement. In regular tower defense games, you have allocated positions where you place your tower. However, in Dwerve you can place your tower wherever you want within a specific area. This makes it so that as a player you have way more expressive freedom. You have way more opportunities to come up with a strategy and adjust your positioning of the towers based on the current situation. This flexibility really gives you the possibility to experiment, as well as to reposition and consider the current defensive hold. What's also interesting is that instead of defending a goal, a tower or a place, you are defending yourself. You are defending your own life, and the towers allow you to do so. In addition to the towers, you also automatically attack enemies, which makes it so that positioning is even more important. I love the combination between the towers, in which you can put a trap and then a slowing trap, and then you just put a spinning blade behind it, so that all the incoming enemies get slowed and they just get spinned and cut to pieces. Whereas you can also decide to have a long range weapon in the distance to deal damage to ranged enemies. These combinations and these synergies also ties in very well within the resource management system of the game. You as a player have a certain amount of crystals, and those crystals you can spend on different traps and different towers, but you can constantly decide to destroy towers simply because they are low on health or because you want to reposition them. And this once again adds to the flexibility and the agency of what the player can accomplish. What I honestly love most about Dwerve is that it's an open world game. Everything you do is seamlessly integrated within the open world. But the open world is also designed in a way that it goes level by level. Every open area provides a new challenge. But instead of having a level selection screen or any other method of progressing through the game, the open world provides you with a sense of cohesion. Additionally, the open world plays very well into the story setup of the game. The sense of this journey, you are exploring these unfamiliar locations. So basically what happens in the story is that you're learning how to build towers to defend yourself and a village in the distance. Once you go to the village, you see that the orcs, who are supposed to be non-existent, have been attacking the village. You saw this happening and tried to explain to everyone that the orcs attacked the village, but instead no one believes you, and your father has been framed. The only way to prove his innocence is by finding evidence of the orcs still being alive. There you go, off to venture out into distant lands. My main point of critique would be in the writing. In some places it feels a bit unbelievable and inconsistent. Developing the characters a bit more and clearly defining their personality would definitely help in improving this. Also, another thing which might be considered to be limiting the freedom and agency of the players is that some levels are quite cluttered. Some areas are specifically designed to teach you a specific mechanic. I'm personally not too opposed to this, simply because it facilitates the learning of the player in a natural way instead of forcing a tutorial upon them. I do really appreciate the variety within these level setups. They either try to teach you something, they try to test you about something that they've previously attempted to teach you, or they simply try to challenge all the skills you've attained so far, especially when it comes to utilizing the different towers intelligently. I also like the fact that there are puzzles in the game. You'll actually be using the towers as a puzzle mechanism. For example, by putting a tower on a pressure plate, which will then subsequently reveal a puzzle. The one puzzle I encountered was quite difficult though, so I hope that they smoothen out the difficulty a bit when it comes to the puzzles. Overall, I think Dwerve is excellently crafted as a game. It provides the player with interesting decisions, it has an engaging world and ambience to it, and it really gives you the sense of craftsmanship, of I am the person who's building these towers, and I have full control over where I want to place them in order to protect myself. So I would highly recommend Dwerve if you like tower defense games in general, as well as if you like to go on an adventure and you want a bit more control, and a game that's less reaction and combat focused and more based on strategy and positioning. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching Game Designer Plays. I'll hope to see you in the next video. See you there. Bye bye.